I think architecture approach requires everybody, because at the end of the day you are running the business, so you cannot separate technology or requirement of the business differently. You have to understand the core business requirements, stakeholder concerns, and everything together. And based on that perspective, you should have put some change management initiatives for the companies. Architecture use this visual AI implementation a lot to show represent their render or videos, but kind of the BIM models what we have produced are also structural data, I believe. And now on software vendors built some MCP servers who can extract data from this model source, and it's kind of this year's topic, this AI agent and MCP server, this kind of stuff. So I believe the models in our sector is also very good data grounding for the AI models. And especially people doesn't realize how could have done with LLMs.
Welcome back to Bits and Bolts, where we talked a lot about tech, leadership, cloud-native system, and engineering life in general. And today's guest comes from space many people don't associate with rapid transformation construction consultancy. We're joined by Gökmen, all the way from Turkey, head of IT and digital transformation at SU YAPI. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing. SU YAPI. Sorry, so many hard to pronounce it. An engineering and infrastructure design firm. He leads initiative across enterprise architecture, company-wide digitalization, IT infrastructure modernization, workflow design and engineering teams, and introduction of new technology inside highly structured environments. That's a very long list, and great to have you here. Did I miss anything from your intro?
Thank you very much for having me here. It was. I'm very happy to be talk here. Yeah, I like digitalization and technological improvements very a lot. So I built all my career based on it, and kind of I started the BIM transition initiatives for our sectors in the company, and kind of we are in a good level of BIM usage and BIM design company in the sector. So we can start anytime.
Yeah, you have quite many years of experience when I check and research about your career, especially in digital transformation inside consultancy that works on the large infrastructure and construction projects. You know, there's many legacy systems, regulatory constraints, and long projects usually. Where do you see that organizations misunderstood what digitalization actually requires?
Actually, organization misunderstand the people factor. I believe it's not some kind of software you can make the investment, procure it, buy and use it. Actual digitalization starts from the people. You had to convince the people to use new products. You had to teach the product workflow or anything related to the new methodology. So I think it's the most biggest misunderstanding. It's not some kind of procurement work, as far as I understand. And in some experience in my work, I see many difficulties and fraction from the people who use this tool. So I honestly say digitalization starts from the people.
Do you think very often they skip this factor and they start somewhere else, or?
Yes, I think when you some manager or some highly high hierarchy people see something on the market and they want you to implement it. But they always doesn't see the point. It's not software license cost. It's more on the people you had to train and teach new technology, adopt them, make the new workflow and process. So I think digitalization's biggest misunderstanding is this workflow.
Yeah, I think you also, very often we oversee that, we don't wish management level, they usually oversee the people factor, as you mentioned as well. But what goes with it is very often the workflows afterwards once we go with people. But unlike software companies, engineering consultancies depends on more a bit different set of than typical software company. You need more structured documentation. You have much more review cycles. Whatever you have need to go with real life. You have drawing and model standards, coordination, and across multiple teams and disciplines. And it's usually very long-term projects. When you modernize workflows in the environment, what changes first? The tools, culture, or the process?
I think we should change the culture, especially if it's something bigger. And you are right. Our projects are sometimes 5 years, 6 years take place to deliver the projects. So kind of even on the way, people could have been changed. So firstly, we should have changed the culture to adapt this kind of technological initiatives. So new people or some people on the road able to read some documents or get some information from the other people and continue the workflow, how it's continue the process to make the design and this kind of stuff. So
Do you,
culture is good.
do you find it hard to change the culture?
Yes, because for example, I come from a civil engineer company, so kind of their perspectives are different than software engineer or IT type of company. They have their own way of working. They have their own roles in their minds. So when you want to digitalize their business, you have to consider their concerns. You have to inform them very well. You have to fix their concerns. So you, at that point, you're able to make something new and make them adapt and use the products.
Do you find challenge, for example, that they underestimate the IT in the construction business, construction companies?
Yeah, exactly, because they are in the main business implementer. They doesn't see IT as a main stream. So kind of their perspectives, you are kind of people who put their computer, maybe install software and these kind of supportive actions. But actually, at that age, everybody's business become digitalizing somehow. IT is change something from the supporter to maybe implementer of the many of their technology requirements. Times are changing, and especially in my sector, it's a little bit underestimated skills for the companies,
Yeah,
technology
I think
adoption.
I think every company is the digital company. They might not know it about it yet. I work with the companies which they didn't. Their main core business wasn't IT or technical stuff, and I find the same challenges. Very often they underestimate importance of digitalization and investing in this part of their business. And how crucial it is very often to it.
So, for example, in pandemic times, Turkey has very strict not going out the streets times. It has taken nearly 2 years, maybe 1.5 years or something like that. So just because our digital maturity is good enough, we are able to work from our house and continue make production for our business.
Exactly. We need to be able to continue it under any circumstances, even when Corona and we locked down at the home. And I think that pushed a lot of companies, in which core business wasn't IT, to actually digitalize faster. I'm originally Polish. I can see how fast, for example, the country digitalized because of Corona, compared to before. Do you find it the biggest challenge that people underestimated, or it's something else on your day-to-day work?
Biggest challenge, I think, especially in my sector, as I said before, for example, building information modeling concept is actually digitalization of the way of preparing the construction documents. So one of the things they are underestimated is in the past it was kind of drawings, some informative graphics, but now we make it with building information models, pure data. So with 3D objects, we have some metadata attached to them. And we want to use this metadata in the later on, like in asset management or maybe some other kind of, how can I say, other kind of reporting and this kind of stuff. So the way of understand the document is 100% different than it used to be. So we are making like database structure for our main business process, let's say, and the thing we sell our customers are changed. We change different solution for them. I mean, for example, with 3D coordination, we have make better coordinated documents outcomes, let's say. And today we are speaking about robots who make the construction and this kind of stuff. So instead of informing people how they build, maybe we need to inform the robots how should they build or do something like that. So digitalization construction is a very big challenge, and making it properly is something very underestimated. People likely to use untrained employee, maybe untrained manager and this kind of organization, and they don't get successful while they are implementing their works.
They underestimate it, and I think you mentioned, another very big challenge. How do you inform robots? So, you go from digital world to physical world, and that's challenge on itself. I work with it during my university years. I studied automation robotics, and it's a very big challenge to actually, translate whatever you see on simulation or on digital to make, robot work exactly as you want, and, especially with complexity of the construction site projects. And to being able to fulfill, you need to be compliant to all the rules, to the safety, and my partner works in the construction business. So I hear on the daily basis, how safety is important, how many, moving blocks you need to put together. So yeah, also, and get robots on top of it, because I guess, especially in the beginning, you're going to have robots working with people. So that's a lot of complexity. Do you already work with these parts, or that's also still kind of in concept?
Well, we are not, of course, working with robots or something like that, but I follow the future technology, so it's why I'm thinking about that way. But kind of the project we have take place are huge projects like subways, maybe airports, hangars, this kind of projects. So they are very complicated. With this BIM approach, for example, as you mentioned, is make many people get inside the same model and work together. It's also another possibilities comes from building information modeling side, for example. So in early, it's like drawing some pictures on CAD, computer-aided software. So only one people see what he or she draw and then publish it to the other people. And it's like iterative design approach. But building information modeling, everybody works together, and it's more collaborative environment at the same time, I can say.
Yeah, I think you also have a challenge, when the data changes, for example, you change the installation or something in the 3D model, you need to be able to make it work with all other stuff in the building, I guess. You approach transformation from an enterprise architecture perspective, but in a very practical way. In a company like yours, SU YAPI, sorry.
If I say something about it, I say that I work like enterprise architect, but
Yeah.
I just follow the terminology later. I just get some training nowadays, and I understand that's what I have done is come together with stakeholders and understand business, understand technology, and put them to some roadmaps and transition plan and implement this plan. So it's definitely enterprise architecture. But I do it without theoretical knowledge. Now I understand what I am doing it.
Learning by doing, we all get
Yes.
there. I also don't have degree in IT, for example. We learn on the go. So, do you think it's different from other businesses? Do you have something, field specific for the? Do you think in your company for the enterprise?
You mean my implementation or?
In your approach, how do you know what's your approach to architecture? Because you have theory in IT, you have practice, but sometimes it's gonna be a very different approach if you go to government or if you go to the startup or if you go to the technical company or if you go to the company which produces I don't know, soap or something. It might vary.
I think architecture approach requires everybody because at the end of the day you are running the business, so you cannot separate technology or requirement of the business differently. You had to understand the core business requirements, stakeholder concerns, and everything together. And based on that perspective, you should have put something, some change management initiatives for the company. So I think everybody could have benefit from architecture and mindset, enterprise architecture mindset. By the way, because we are in AEC sector, architecture means something else for us. So it's maybe misunderstand point of our sector, but enterprise architecture is kind of business centric IT or maybe technology enablement for clarify the issue.
Yeah, it's definitely, important as well. And as you're saying, the architect, very often people, go into their own bubble and only see what the work with you have, and then when you need to get out of your bubble and connect the dots with different people or stakeholders, suddenly it doesn't work because you haven't seen further, as you mentioned. We need to take a step back and talk to the stakeholders. And, architecture is quite close with the digital transformation and, with human factor in all of it. So, it very often fails not because the tech is wrong, but as you mentioned before, and how important it is, but because people, the way people work or the people mindset didn't really change. Where do you see the biggest gaps between leadership expectations and teams' realities?
Actually, I have been spoken with some of the software vendors also, our BIM initiatives. When we talk about our BIM initiatives, it's like you had to bring company to new approach, and all the software costs you had to also work on the people. You need to teach people use software, and you need to let the people learn the software, make practice, and this kind of stuff. So all of these things has some cost and resource requirements. And mostly while the projects are working, at beginnings, people think that they can give you this resource, but when the working projects requirements getting heavy, they want to prepare something fast and this kind of stuff, then they maybe not follow your plans. They don't let the people's require time to learn the tool and this kind of stuff. So as far as I say, it's the conflict of interest. So project managers want their projects working good and profitable, and you want people use some resource to learn new culture and maybe profit for the future. So kind of their closest interest, daily interest, they conflict the company's future considerations.
So it's forever a dialogue between business management and tech, and understanding each other and challenges coming with it. I think it comes, to a majority of the, they want new features or something. IT want stability and maintenance and so on. And very often I see, misunderstanding and differences in expectations. Do you see something similar or?
Kind of. I am the one who wants to use new technology. Business sites wants it slower in our case, but yeah, everybody has their own concern, each stakeholder, let's say. So we have some conflict in our ideas, and we try to convince other side to how we continue. So
yeah, it's hard to make everyone happy. Kind of boring part which comes with IT. It's documentation and something what majority of IT engineers are not too happy to do. But it's necessary. Part of it, drawings, revisions, solution designs, meeting notes, reports, compliance records. Some of it is automated, some not really. Do you see any particular part of documentation and standardization which is most understood by leadership?
can you explain furthermore?
If you see that leadership is skipping or see something what is needed in the documentation or the way of doing it, but doesn't really, but it's not how it is in the real life.
I'm well, kind of the companies in our size. We don't have some big IT teams, so kind of I deal with all the stuff like management of the licenses, cybersecurity, infrastructure, and everything. So kind of I have my own documents and own teams, but I don't have anybody higher than me to understand the internal IT hierarchy. So kind of I'm making most of the thing and try to make some architectural documents behind me. But I think there's now a difference than what was in my mind and what we have been implemented. So kind of in small organization, we don't have this kind of conflicts.
That's good that you can avoid conflicts and you can fully decide what is actually needed. And without going further. Do you see, we have AI hype everywhere pretty much right now, and it's going to all industries and pretty much every part of our life. Do you see AI going also into construction companies as well? And how is it changing your work?
Well, I see many initiatives. And first of all, architecture use this visual AI implementation a lot to represent their render or videos, but kind of the BIM models what we have produced are also structural data, I believe, and now on software vendors built some MCP servers who can extract data from this model source, and it's kind of this year's topic, this AI agent and MCP server, this kind of stuff. So I believe in the models in our sector is also very good data grounding for the AI models. And especially people doesn't realize what could have done with LLMs. It's not something they ask regular daily stuff. For example, they ask some change in the model or this kind of stuff, and you can notice something you cannot see by your pure eyes, but the database change could have been reported by LLM models. So it could have gone interesting place, like you are implementing some projects and you can ask what's changed, or some special search query, for example, the not fire protected windows, could you show me on the model, this kind of stuff. So it will open some new window for AI usage, I believe, because AI actually starts from the data. So we are putting some new data on the table.
Exactly. Without data, without good data, you don't really have good AI coming with it. It's a baseline. Where do you think it's gonna go in construction sites and engineering? Within next few years, do you have any opinions about it?
Well, I think people think some initiatives I see, they make also some modeling works with AI, but I'm not sure for any kind of AI. I always notice that people need to inspect what AI done. So kind of you write some prompt, but you always need to check the output, because most of the case output was not some maybe consistent or proper output, but it looks very beautiful because it's feed nice data, and it give you nice written documents. But inside the documents, most of the time you don't get exactly what you want, and you have to inspect AI tool. So it's most probably will be the same in the design sector. So even you're able to design something nice with AI, you always have to check the output.
Yeah, we need to be able to verify the output, as we are, we are not fully confident what we're getting from AI, and what confidence can we get for this.
Exactly.
So I guess, we have the same issues with AI everywhere. It doesn't matter the sector or the use cases.
Actually, it's happened in the real life. Some design engineer make some product, and their manager needs to check and verify it. Actually, so it's very humanistic behavior, I think. So AI tools is some kind of producer tool, and you have to check what's implemented before you pass it to the other people.
So the process actually doesn't change that much when we actually
Yes,
look.
exactly.
It doesn't matter who's the producer. Is it AI or is it a human? You still need to verify, is it good enough for what you need. In construction, business comes with a lot of regulations, and law is quite strict about it. You have and many standards coming with it. Do you see companies building future technical depth with decision they're making today? Do you see a lot, or where?
Usage of AI, I think, yeah, we have some, for example, we have some structural regulation in Turkey, so you have to make strong building able to resist earthquake and this kind of stuff. But actually, before AI, there's also what civil engineer or structural engineer done is actually check their design able to fulfill the regulations. So AI maybe doesn't too much help for that, but maybe AI will be used to fast the process and this kind of stuff. So still there's some analyzing tool and this kind of stuff who make the design analyze and maybe based on the outcomes, AI could be make it as a report or maybe suggestion and this kind of stuff. So helpful for the implementation process and reduce the requirements, man hours or this kind of stuff.
It could pretty much just speed up the process a lot, and to be able to be compliant to the regulations and check if we are in the particular project.
And actually, humans also make some mistakes, so AI will be the second eyes and this kind of stuff for check the requirements. So it will be very useful tool.
Do you think it would be needed to verify again after the AI verifies it, or?
Yeah, AI needs to be verified also.
So you would need to verify twice, for example, with human and once with AI.
Yeah, it will be increase the quality.
Yeah, but maybe time would go down probably because of the higher automation and higher tech involvement with AI.
Yes, yes.
Do you see the difference if the company is digitally mature or versus one that is just tool heavy?
What's the question?
If you see the difference, like what is digital maturity for you? Some companies gonna say it's only if we have we have a bunch of tools, but very often I think it's only one side of the equation. It's not everything.
I think digital maturity is capability of the companies. For example, if you have communication tool like Teams or Zoom, this kind of stuff, you have communication network. If you have common data environments or document management system, you have this capability. So digital maturity could be considered as the companies like you in the sector, what they have done and where are you point. If, for example, good company who use technology better could be a good example for the other people understand their maturity level. Different types of company require different technological maturity. Also, technological advancements need some cost resource and this kind of stuff. So you don't have to be the latest, most regulated company at the end. You had to be mature enough to make your business secure and high quality, good way.
Okay, so you mentioned different aspects. You don't need to chase the newest technologies all the time, but you need to, stability is higher. More important in this case, security or optimizations, getting to know that you're compliant with the regulations. What do you think companies should look first when they're trying to improve their digital maturity? You mentioned security, for example.
Yeah, their knowledge and data security, because actually, even in my sector, what we produce is files, models, so everything is on computers. So we need to responsible for its security, immutability, maybe accessibility. I mean the requirements in the data information protection standards like ISO 27001. This kind of data availability and this kind of requirements has to be fulfilled. Otherwise, in one day, maybe you lose your product outcome to deliver the client. So you'll be in a very bad condition, lose all your job and this kind of stuff. So I think most biggest challenge was data security for the company, maybe any sector.
Yeah, I think data security and security in general is a baseline. Sometimes it's overseen and underestimated. There was I think, incidents over the last few months, for example, when the dependencies got compromised and suddenly you need to rotate all passwords. I see a lot of organizations struggling without finding out and, lacking of automation around it, lacking of information how to do it. And it's pretty much the baseline or having two simple passwords or credentials.
Yeah, multi-factor authentication, many
exactly back to
other
basics
stuff.
pretty much.
needs to be taken care.
Before we wrap up, I have 5 questions. If you could shortly answer for them, 5 rapid questions to go through.
Okay.
So first one would be process first or tool first?
I think process is much more important. Tool had to be follow the process. So
over documentation or under documentation, which is worse?
Over documentation, because when you make something a lot, nobody reads it, so it will get useless.
And it's getting outdated as well. That's quite often. Who adapts faster, engineers, managers, or operations?
If you mean operation, the people who make the job, it's more easy for them to adapt new technology.
The one workflow bottleneck you wish would disappear forever?
Maybe bureaucracy in technological initiatives.
Definitely. Perfect process or perfect collaboration? Choose one.
Perfect?
Process or perfect collaboration?
I think perfect collaboration.
Yeah, if you have perfect collaboration, you can make perfect process. I fully agree.
Yes, I mean, collaboration between the people are very important. If you want to make something good, you need
Definitely.
to get everybody inside it.
Do you have any final thoughts for the people or what they should, or do you have anything we would like else to share? Because I went through all the questions I had for you.
I think it was very happy to be join some podcast like that. I haven't been to something like that before. I liked explain my ideas in a conversation manner. I believe technology and digitalization is important for all size and all type of companies. In some way, just there maybe requirements are different. Nowadays, most of the things produced on digital environments. So security and these kind of stuffs are the number one concern they should have. So these are my last words.
Thank you for joining. I really appreciate you coming and sharing your knowledge and experience. And I learned quite a bit about, how you do IT more in the construction side. And it's not that different actually for what we do in the other, I think.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. That's it for today's edition of the Bits and Bolts with Paulina. Did you like what you heard? Of course you do. Tell your friends.